Hello student, welcome to my online lecture series of Basics of Automotive System. My name is Kalal from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today we will discuss chapter 6 and topic number 2, that is the steering geometry. That is a very important topics. Okay, for exam point of view, for any exam, for any competitive exam or except university exam. In university exam, always ask one question on this steering geometry. So what is the steering geometry? Steering geometry is nothing but it is the various types of angle with made with the different steering uh, angle relationship with the different position with the tires. Okay, so let me understand one by one. Steering geometry, the term steering geometry is also known as a front end geometry. Okay, front end geometry. Why it is known as a front end geometry? Because all the angle measured in front side of the vehicle. That's why it is known as a front end geometry. Refers to the angular relationship between suspension and the steering parts, front wheel and the road surface, because alignment deals with the angles and affect steering. The method of describing alignment measurement is called steering geometry. So what is this steering geometry? It refers the angular relationship, that means various types of angle relationship between or with suspension or steering parts. Okay, different types of steering parts and with the front wheel, or we can say with the road surface. And because of alignment deals with these angles, alignment deals with angles and affect the steering system. These angles affect the steering system. Okay, so let me understand the one by one different types of angle. So basically four types of steering geometry. One is the camber, another one is a caster, another one is a toe in toe out, and another one is a kingpin inclination angle, or we can say steering axis inclination, SAI. So camber is a one, camber angles, caster, or kingpin inclination, kingpin inclination, toe in, toe out. These are the various types of geometry which we will study in this lecture. There are the five steering geometries: camber, casters, kingpin inclination, toe in, toe out. Okay, so what is the camber? Let me understand what is the camber, what is the effect of camber. Okay, so camber is nothing but it is the angle made by while tilting the wheel from vertical. If this is our wheel, when it tilts from the vertical, this is our main axis or center axis of the wheel. Okay, this is the center axis of the wheel. When it tilts, the angle made by this central line of wheel from the vertical, this angle is known as a camber angle, and it is shown from top, or we can show from the front. If this is our vertical, this is the vertical, entire moves like here, this angle is known as a camber angle if we see from the front. Okay, so camber angle is the angle between vertical line and central line of tire when viewed from the front of the vehicle. It is our tire. Okay, this is the vertical line and this is our camber angle. This angle is known as a camber angle. Okay, this is our camber angle. And camber angle is another two types: negative camber angle and positive camber angle. If it turns outward, that means angle made by this is a positive camber angle. If it turns inward direction, then it is called negative camber angles. Okay, the camber should not be more than 2 degree. That is the limitation of camber angle, should not be more than 2 degree, because this causes the uneven or more tire wear on the one side than other side. What happen if it is negative in this figure? This is a negative angle is shown here. So if the more contact area in this side, inner side, so more uneven wear is comes here. The tire is wear along this side, so more wear occurs in this inward direction. If it is positive angles, so what happens? The vehicle is like tire is here, so more wear is occur here. This is the wear area when camber angle is positive. Okay, Next is a slight negative camber. If slight negative camber is opted or apt to keep your car from slipping or losing grip at tight corner or cornering at high speed, this is the used in F1 car used in a negative camber. Okay, when negative camber is applied, if you want to slipping or more grip or traction, or losing the grip at cornering while you taking a turn, that at high speed, that time this negative camber angle give a more tractions or grip. Okay, so in all racing cars, negative camber is provided. So now, what is the effect of camber? Okay, whatever vehicles or runs on the road or ground, every vehicle or everybody wants to grip with the road surface or ground surface, and wheel wants to move on the ground surface on vertical direction. But when you taking a turn either on left side or right side or inward or outward, camber angle, positive camber angle increases the tire wear or uneven wears. Okay, but it camber angle is benefit when initially provided 2 to 3 degree of camber angle, and you load you make a more load on the vehicle. That time this camber angles comes its original position and straight ahead on the road, and it comes in its actual position, and grip with the road is more and tire wear is less. When before loading we provided 2 to 3 degree of camber, and when load is applied or when loading vehicle loaded, that times the tire will automatically comes in its original position, which is beneficial for us. Okay, small loading vehicles, the camber angle is provided. Okay, it reduces the uneven tire wear. Okay, so tires want to ground perfectly. Okay, on a ground perfectly, so it reduces the uneven wear, and the wear of the tire is uniform. Okay, the initial positive camber is provided to the wheel so that when the vehicle is loaded, they automatically come in vertical position. That is the most benefit or effect of the camber's angle. Okay. Next is kingpin inclination. Kingpin inclination is nothing but the angle made by kingpin from the vertical, then it is called a kingpin. Okay, this is our vertical axis of kingpin. Okay, kingpin is nothing but this is our stub axle, and pin is provided here. This is our pin. If it is vertical, that is zero kingpin inclination, but it is some angle made some angles, that is it is a kingpin inclination. Okay, these are the kingpin inclination. That angle is a kingpin, and that axis is known as a kingpin. This is our front view and this is our side view. Okay, two views are given in this diagram, a front view and side view. Okay, what is the effect of a kingpin inclination? It provides stability with the road or tractions. Okay, and recovery to straight vehicle. It is angle between kingpin center line and vertical line when seen from the front of the vehicle. Okay, it is also called steering axle inclination, SAI. It is also called SAI, steering axle inclination. But in modern days, the kingpin is not used. Instead of this pin, we used ball type of joint. We used ball joint. Okay, ball joint. Nowadays, instead of kingpin, we used ball joint, and the new name is given that steering axle inclination. Okay, it helps to straight ahead recovery. Okay, it helps to straight ahead recovery. Thus kingpin inclination and caster are used to improve directional stability. Directional stability means it comes and move on a straight path. Okay, it follow the whatever path required by the drivers, that is followed by this according to kingpin inclination. Okay, so what is the effect of kingpin? When you taking a turn, the outer wheel raises or body moves up. When you taking turn, the outer wheel or body is raises up due to suspension system. Suspension system raises the vehicle body, and when steering is left and turn is completed, the vehicle weight comes on the steering again. So stability is increases due to kingpin inclination. This is also used to reduce the steering effort when steering is stationary. Okay, it reduces tire wear and this inclination varies from 4 to 8 degree in the modern cars. Next is a caster angle. Caster angle, effect of caster angle is similar like a kingpin angle because it is angle made by with kingpin, or we can say from the side view. From the side view, this is the our negative casters and this is our the positive casters. Okay, this these are the negative casters. If steering is provided like here, this is the positive caster. According to this is the steering axis and this is the vertical axis. The angle made by this, okay, so with suspension, this is known as a positive caster, and angle made like this is the negative caster. Okay, this is our negative caster and this angle is a positive caster. So in this diagram we can see easily. Okay, this line is nothing but it is the kingpin center line. Kingpin center line. It meets at front of the vertical line. It meets on the front of the vertical line. So what happened? The total loads come on that here, and it's divided into two parts, horizontal and vertical component when load comes on an angle. That's why what happened here. So total loads can bear by this one kingpin angles, and when contact point, this is the contact point of wheel and tires. Okay, the caster angle is the tilt of kingpin center line towards the front of back from the front wheel line. Caster angle is the tilt of kingpin center line toward the front of the back from the vertical line. Okay, if suspension attached like this one, okay, this is our suspension system and steering mechanism is like this one. So that is the negative caster. It is the angle between vertical line and kingpin center line in the wheel plane when looked from side view. Okay, camber angle is looked from front view, or we can say top view. Caster angle from side view. Okay, this is the main difference. But what is the effect of caster? Effect of caster is similar like a kingpin. It improves the directional stability. Okay, it increases directional stability. Okay, it helps to straight ahead recovery. Thus, the caster are used to improve directional stability in the car. These are the all the angles. These are the caster angles, view from the side view, and these are the camber angles, view from the front view. And this is the toe in, toe out, and thrust. This is our thrust line, and this is the geometrical center line. This is the standard geometrical center line. Okay, where is kingpin? These are our kingpin, which is inserted in the stub axles. These are the suspension system, and angle made from the vertical, that is the SAE, steering axis angle or kingpin angle. Okay, and this is the camber angle. Next, toe in and toe out on turns. What is toe in, toe out, and turn? When vehicles move or front wheel or front side is attached together, comes together. Okay, it tries to comes together, then it is called toe in. That means the distance between the front or axle of front side is less compared to the front axle of rear side. The distance is increases and the distance is reduces. What happened? This is our front axle and two wheels. Okay, so this is the condition of toe in. This distance is reduces, these two wheels comes together in front side. Suppose this distance is assume like B and this distance is A. Okay, so what is the difference? A minus B. Okay, this is known as a toe in, and this distance is nothing but the limitation of this distance is 3 mm. Okay, why it is toe in, toe out given? Because it reduces the tire uneven wear. In automotive engineering, toe also known as a tracking. What is the meaning of toe? Toe is nothing but pulling action. Okay, toe means pulling action. Okay, this can be contrasted with the steer, which is anti-symmetric angle, that is a both wheel point to left or right in parallel roughly. Okay, the positive toe, okay, or we can say in the positive toe is we can say toe in front of the wheel pointing in the towards the center line, that is called toe in. If wheel like some like this. That is the toe out. Okay, negative toe or toe out in front of the wheel pointing away from the center line of the vehicle. Okay, what is the result if after giving the toe in toe out? Increased toe in would result in decreased oversteer. Okay, increased toe in would result in oversteer. So the word is like oversteer. Oversteer is nothing but steering is movement. Steering movement is more according to requirement. If you want to turn 30-degree and your steering wheel is movement, your wheel is movement like a 40-degree, that means it is a oversteer, and it increased directional stability at high speed. Whereas it increased the toe out would result in understeer. Understeer is nothing but if you want to move the wheel is 20-degree and wheel turns only 10-degree, that is the understeer condition, and greater as in steering during the concerning or cornering, during the cornering. So this is the diagram of toe in and toe out. These two wheels comes together or closer together, that is a toe in, and these two wheels away from each other. Okay, and from rear wheel comes closer together. We can say this rear side of wheel, front axle of rear side is comes closer together. Okay, next is Ackerman steering geometry. We will discuss in previous fundamental steering mechanism. Ackerman steering geometry is used. Okay, in this Ackerman steering geometry, all the pair are turning pair, and this steering geometry which satisfy the steering fundamental steering equation only three position, either on extreme right, either on extreme left, or we can say on straight path. This Ackerman steering geometry satisfy the correct steering mechanism only on the three position, but on other position near about this fundamental equation. Okay, the Ackerman steering geometry is a geometrical arrangement of the linkage in the steering of the car or other vehicle designed to solve the problem of wheel on this inside and outside of the turn needed to track out circle in different radius or radii. Okay, modern cars do not use pure Ackerman. Nowadays, all the cars do not use the perfect or purely Ackerman steering partially because it ignores the importance of dynamic and compliant effect. Okay, the use of such geometry reduces the tires temperature during high speed cornering and compromises performance in a low speed maneuver. The intention of the Ackerman geometry is to avoid the need for the tire to slip sideways when following the path around. All the theories are written as for your exam point of view. Just remember the diagram and equation for the Ackerman steering mechanism and what is the different from the Davis mechanism. Sometimes ask what is the difference between Davis and Ackerman mechanism. Okay. So this is the Ackerman steering mechanism. This is the Ackerman steering mechanism. So all the pairs, this much of diagram is showing like this in zooming action. So what happen if take a left turn? So first off we will discuss the notation. L is the length of the track road. L is nothing but track length of the road, and R is the length of the link radius RA and RB. What is RA? From this one to this one, this distance is nothing but that is the RA. This distance is the RA. So how to make this mechanism? This is our stub axles, two stub axles which is connected by the front axles by pivot joint. This is the pivot joint, and these are the two wheel of the vehicle, and this is our axles. Okay, in this Ackerman all the pair are turning pair, and this is the lever or we can say stub axle which have a relative motion about this pivot center. Okay, this distance in diagram, this is RS and this is AB. This distance is given in the R distance. Okay, when we take a left turn, what happen? This wheel will come here and this one is somewhere like here. Similarly, this wheel goes like here and axis like here. So the angle when vehicle is straight in previous diagram, when vehicle have no turn either left or right, that have an angle is alpha. Okay, that have an angle is alpha. This is the alpha angle, and at straight condition this is our eye center. But when it takes left turn, the eye center is somewhere here. This is our eye centers, and the central is joining here like so. This distance is nothing but r. So this diagram comes from this diagram. When it takes a left turn, okay, this is alpha distance, this is r, this is again phi total distance, total angle is alpha, and phi angle is movement, because outer wheel have a smaller angle compared to the inner wheel. This alpha angle is a more because it takes a left turn, and distance moved is a x, and initial distance when it is a straight path, that is y. So total distance from this one to this one is a x plus y. Similarly, like this one, this is the x distance and total distance is a y. So apply the triangular formula here. This is our like one. This is where we apply this formula. So what happened? This is comes from this one, from this side. 2 sine alpha plus theta is equals to nothing but y plus x by r. Okay, this is the distance y plus x, and this distance is r, similar like r. Okay, similarly for this side the formula comes 2 sine alpha minus phi is equals to y minus x. These two equations nothing but we apply trigonometric formula. This is sine alpha plus theta and sine alpha minus theta. How it is come? This is total angle is alpha and it is phi, alpha minus phi, where we apply trigonometric formula. So combining this equation number 1 and equation number 2, that is the sine alpha plus theta plus sine alpha minus theta, that is 2y by r, 2y by r. So final equation, by resolving this formula, the final equation comes like 2 sine alpha is equals to 2y by r. Y is nothing but it is the distance, traction distance, okay, and r is the link distance. This is the fundamental equation for the Ackerman mechanism. The Ackerman mechanism satisfy only 3 position: extreme right, extreme left, and straight mechanism. So I hope so you understand well. This is the Ackerman mechanism. Okay, this 3 position is nothing but straight ahead, right turn, and left turn. Okay. Similarly, when it is straight, the eye center meets like here. When it is left turn, eye center meets like here. And if it is right turn, then eye center is opposite direction. Next is slip angle and cornering force. What is slip angle and cornering force? While we taking a turn on a road, okay, one centrifugal comes on the vehicle. To compensate that centrifugal force, a side thrust force applied on the wheel. Okay, when again I repeat, while taking a turn, okay, at high speed, centrifugal force comes on the vehicle. At that time, a side thrust produced due to centrifugal force. So what happened? To compensate or to sustain that side thrust, the angle made by the tire in plane of wheel, angle made by tire or wheel in plane of wheel, that angle is nothing but that is a slip angle. How to made by tire? Because tire have a distortion capacity or flexible. Tire is a flexible that makes a slip angle with the motion. Okay, this is the our nothing but this is tire and this is the motion of the vehicles. Okay, this line is the motion of the vehicle, and this is the slip angle. This is nothing but slip angle. Okay, the angle between line of action and angle tilt by wheel, that is a slip angle. Why it is made slip angle? To sustain the side thrust, the angle made by the line of action in tire, that is known as a slip angle. Okay, so so next, what is cornering force? Cornering force is nothing but to compensate side thrust, one force is applied, that is a cornering force, in an opposite direction and equal magnitude. Okay, in equal magnitude. To compensate this side thrust, the cornering force is applied. This cornering force is applied. Okay. So that is known as a cornering force. The force produced due to side thrust. Okay, the force produced due to side thrust is known as a cornering force. The magnitude of cornering force is nothing but is equal to side force thrust, or side force or thrust force divided by slip angle. Okay. So this is the impact of the slip angle or cornering force. This is the graph. The cornering force increases, a slip angle increases, cornering force increases up to some time it is stable condition. Similar like effect of inflation pressure on the cornering force. This is the graph between cornering force and inflation force. Okay, in every exams ask what is the cornering force. Cornering force is nothing but it is the force produced due to the side thrust. And why side thrust comes? Because of centrifugal force. Next is understeer or oversteer. Okay, what is understeer and oversteer? Understeer is generally seen in the front drive vehicle and oversteer is seen in the rear drive vehicles. What happen in understeering? While you're taking a turn or sharp turn, what is required path? This is the our required turn path. Green dotted line is on required path. But while you're taking a turn, you turn a steering. So this vehicle goes skid outside. Okay, because of the front axles and power is supplied to front wheel, that is the motion is larger. Okay, the motion is larger on that side compared to rear side. That's why this wheel is skidding outward direction. Or understeering means if side motion is 30 degree at angle, but your vehicle is not moving 30 degree and translation motion is more or predominant compared to rotational motion, that time the wheel is moved outward direction. That is called understeer. What is in oversteer mechanism? Oversteer is nothing but when angle is required, suppose like a U-turn required is this one is like a 30 degree, but turn is over, means a response is very sensitive. Your steering is turned about the 40 degree, that means oversteer. So what happened? This oversteer phenomena generally occurs in the rear wheel drive. What happened? This force is transmitted to this one. The rolling force is predominate in these sides. So this front wheel is the front wheel rolling is less compared to the rear wheel drive. That means rotational motion is more in back side or rear side. That time your vehicle is turning like this and goes inside. Okay, not follow the proper path or required path. That is known as the oversteer mechanism. This is the diagram of the understeer or oversteer. What happened? When we turns is like this, the vehicle is moves outside or skidding due to the understeers. Okay, and this is the oversteers. Generally, it's seen in the rear wheel drive, and this is seen in the front wheel drive. Because your translation motion or rolling motion is not equal at the point of contact in front side. Okay, so because of motion velocities are different. Okay, difference in velocity at the point of contact, that's why this phenomena understeer and oversteer are occurs. Okay, thank you so much guys. In next video we will learn about the tires and wheel.